What is up, guys? Today I bring to you the servant profile of the day, Atalanta, otherwise known as Catalanta, Necolanta, the chaste huntress. No, you can't fluff my ears, now unhand me. She can be summoned as an archer or a berserker. Her place of origin is Greece, and she's a famous huntress who helped take down the Caledonian boar in Greek mythology. She was raised by the servant and Greek deity Artemis, and is without a doubt one of the greatest archers known to man. And before we get started, I do want to mention that one of her skills is missing its translation. Abilities. As a child who grew up under the wing of the goddess Artemis, Atalanta is no stranger when it comes to dealing with the wild. And by extension of her being raised in this environment, she's more like an animal than anything else. She has better vision than the average servant, a better sense of smell than the average servant. She's even had times where she pinpoint the enemies faster than the servant Achilles in the middle of the night from several miles away. Not to mention that she has the utmost advantage when it comes to dealing with certain surroundings, such as a forest. When it comes to doing battle, her main armament is the celestial bow given to her by Artemis, known as Pteropolos, the name itself being a nod to Artemis's relation with wild animals. One thing that sets Atalanta apart from most archers is that she can hit multiple targets at once with precise accuracy. Personal skills. Crossing Arcadia. The rank is B class. It's a skill that allows Atalanta to move across the battlefield as quick as possible. Due to her childhood taking place in the glorious mountains of Arcadia, Atalanta is highly skilled when it comes to maneuvering the field. She can jump from platform to platform with no problems and even get around certain obstacles that the enemies might use to block her path. Aesthetics of the last spurt. The rank is C class. In her past, Atalanta was challenged time and time again to a foot race by men who desired to be at her side through marriage. Unfortunately for them, Atalanta was no slacker when it came to a foot race and burnt every single one of her opponents until one got the upper hand by cheating. The skill itself is meant to be a nod to the fact that she gave those guys a head start so they'd actually stand a fair chance. By letting her enemy go first, Atalanta will have a better chance at anticipating what move her opponent might use next. She will then use this opportunity to pass them up via battle like she used to do with the other guys back in the old days. Agrius Metamorphoses. Boar of Divine Punishment. The rank is B+. It's an anti-unit self-phantasm, which means you use it on yourself. So during her lore, the king of Caledon forgot to make his yearly sacrifice to Artemis, and in response to this disrespect, Artemis sent down a ravenous Caledonian boar that destroyed anything and everything in its path. Bet y'all won't forget next time, will you? After the death of several heroes, Atalanta was the only person to come out and draw first blood in the battle against this wild beast. Her friend Meleager got the last hit on the boar, so he claimed the prize, but he still gave the hide to Atalanta as a gift since she did most of the work. In the Fate verse, the boar is described as a phantasmal beast, and Atalanta has been awarded with the hide because of this segment. It's a cursed phantasm where she infuses herself with the magical hide to gain the same power as the beast itself. She will lose access to her bow's phantasm in exchange for this raw power. Aside from the luck stat, each one of her parameters will receive an increase to the point where you practically can say it's a berserker mode on demand. And just like most berserkers, this newfound power will come at the expense of all of Atalanta's sanity. Even the master might not be safe when she turns this thing on, but as long as she don't hit me, we all good. She would then make use of the hide by turning it into a pair of wings, giving her the ability to fly to her heart's content. and I must admit, this is some very deadly stuff considering that she's an archer. I mean, the last thing you want an experienced bowman to have is the perfect vantage point for the entire fight. And although she will lose access to the regular phantasm, she has gained the ability to infuse her bow with magical energy from the hide instead. Apparently, the hide does it all. Might have to order one of these hoes off Amazon. And of course, the downside to this process is that it's extremely dangerous and it will more than likely end up getting her killed. And if I had to judge by using Apocrypha, it probably will. By normal standards, she wouldn't even have access to this hide, but since the war in Apocrypha isn't normal by any means, she was able to resort to its power as a last-ditch effort. Phoebus Catastrophe. Complaint message on the arrow. The rank is B class. It's an anti-army phantasm, which means it's used against an army. It's a move that sends an arrow to the deities Artemis and her brother Apollo, asking for their help on the battlefield. The move itself goes back to the tale that I covered in Artemis's lore, where she dealt with the children of the woman who tried to play her mother. In response to Atalanta's call, the two will drop a calamity out of the sky and use her target as the sacrifice. This also comes equipped with settings. Need to take out an entire group of homunculi? No problem. Or if Atalanta wants to narrow the shot down all to one person, like she did my boy Spartacus, then she has the free reign to get this done. The downside to the phantasm is that it can be blocked or evaded by a servant if they possess the skill to do so. Ultimately, this just means that her best bet is if she's going against somebody that has low endurance. While each arrow isn't that powerful on its own, they come down in such a large number that even if the person tries to avoid them, the average servant shouldn't be able to dodge them all, at the very least. Upon its use, she will pull 2 arrows against her weapon before sending them out into the sky in search of her blessings. The gods will then send a storm of arrows back down upon her target, putting everything in their path to ruin. That about wraps it up. If you enjoyed the video, please like it up so we can get this trending. Feel free to add information as you see fit, and let me know what you guys think about it. It's your boy Tsiah. I'm out. Who thought this character was a good idea? I sincerely want to know. Bet you want to drop it. Bet you want to. Come on, boy. Oh man, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. I know you're not gonna let me come all the way back. I know you. Stop playing with me, bro.